20,000 pilgrims, an average age of just 22. And at a time when restrictions on the traditional Latin Mass continue in many places, one of the Church's most well-known cardinals is making a strong statement. Cardinal Raymond Burke says the traditional Latin Mass is not simply a preference. He calls it an invaluable treasure of the Church, and he says it is closely connected to the very identity of the Roman Catholic Church. The American cardinal made these remarks during an interview with Notre-Dame de Chrétienté, the organizers of the famous Chartres pilgrimage in France. The interview was conducted during the Pentecost pilgrimage in late May and released on July 14th. This year's pilgrimage attracted a record 20,000 participants. Despite intense heat and ongoing restrictions on the ancient liturgy in many dioceses, thousands made the journey. What surprised many observers was the age of the participants. The average pilgrim was only 22 years old. Reflecting on the theme of mission, Cardinal Burke said the older form of the Roman Rite is missionary by its very nature. He explained that the traditional Latin Mass attracts people because of its strong sense of the sacred and the transcendent. According to Burke, this attraction is especially visible among young people. He believes many young Catholics are searching for something deeper in a world that often focuses only on earthly concerns. The cardinal also addressed a question frequently raised in discussions about the Latin Mass. Can Catholics who prefer the traditional liturgy still fully embrace the Second Vatican Council? Burke's answer was clear. Yes. He firmly rejected the idea that Catholics who worship according to the 1962 liturgical books are somehow less Catholic or opposed to the Council. In his words, it is entirely possible to be fully Catholic while receiving the sacraments according to the liturgical books of 1962. He even called it unacceptable to claim otherwise. Burke pointed out an important historical fact. The bishops who participated in the Second Vatican Council themselves used the 1962 liturgical rites. For that reason, he argued that it makes little sense to claim that fidelity to those rites automatically means rejecting the Council or questioning the validity of later liturgical forms. The cardinal also encouraged deeper study of the liturgical developments that took place between 1965 and 1969. He specifically mentioned the work of the Synod of Bishops and the examination of the draft missal that eventually led to the promulgation of the 1969 missal. According to Burke, much research is already being done in this area. The interview also touched on the doctrine often summarized as outside the Church there is no salvation. Burke explained that the path of salvation revealed by God comes through the Church and baptism. He added that voluntarily separating oneself from the Church through schism or heresy places one's salvation in danger. At the same time, he emphasized that final judgment belongs to God. The interview took place as Pope Leo XIV has called for generous pastoral solutions for Catholics attached to the extraordinary form of the Mass, while remaining faithful to the guidance of the Church. Burke welcomed this approach. He expressed hope that Pope Leo's upcoming visit to France from September 25th to 28th, including Paris and Lourdes, could bring unity and healing to challenges currently facing the Church. The cardinal also spoke about signs of hope in today's world. He welcomed the increase in adult catechumens in France. At the same time, he warned that declining infant baptisms should not be ignored. He stressed the importance of passing on the faith through strong Christian education. Burke also highlighted the growth of large Christian families in both France and the United States. He described this trend as a genuine sign of hope. Returning to the Chartres pilgrimage, Burke said the event itself demonstrates the spiritual vitality that still exists among young Catholics. He was impressed by the enthusiasm of the participants. He was encouraged by the large numbers approaching the sacraments of confession and the Eucharist. For him, the pilgrimage showed that faith remains alive. It is a great sign of spiritual vitality and the action of the Holy Spirit, he said. And he expressed one final hope, that the spiritual energy seen at Chartres will remain with these young Catholics throughout their lives.